everyone, welcome to my channel. This video is a flip through of the little Greta that I just randomly made, because sometimes you need to challenge yourself and do something different, and Greta was definitely a challenge for me. Greta has sold, so this video is a record for me of her creation and entertainment for everyone else. I will make other minis, but probably not 8 signatures. I think 6 would be enough. That was what happened when I made the cover first and then filled it, because I had to keep filling and it got a bit crazy in the end. So Greta challenged me in a number of ways. I've never used this color tone. I'm very pastel. If you've been watching me for a while, you'll sort of know that. So a little bit of layering on the front here. This is a velvet flower rose trim. I've hand stitched everything. There's no machine stitching in the journal. A little bit of bling on the spine, messy signatures, so I didn't use a template. Her cover is actually very flexible. It is literally just 2 layers of fabric and a tablecloth, a avocado dyed tablecloth. Lots of vintage and antique pieces in her. So the idea was I had a huge pile of scraps. A lot of it was antique French documents I'd resized from other journals, and you don't throw these things out. So I thought, well, a unique way of using those paper pieces is in a mini journal. So technically, this is sort of business card size, so the cover is a little bit bigger, business card sized. In the front here, I've used some beautiful paper from Heather, some handmade paper as a pocket. Now, I didn't make any ephemera because I don't have the dexterity of a surgeon. I struggled with this size and with the hand stitching, so ephemera was just not going to happen. So that's up to the person who's purchased the journal. Obviously, I think this would be a gratitude journal with some beautiful quotes. There's 192 pages, so almost, over half a year's worth of daily gratitude, if that's the sort of thing that you like to do. Or just favorite quotes, favorite poems, music lyrics, things like that, which, is poetry. So that's kind of, I guess, the purpose of these little minis. So a little accent there. This is beautiful antique bobbin lace and snippet. I used my one of my printables in here because it sort of matched in with the richer tones, and I'll put that link in the description below. So actually 2 printables, or 3 I think. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. So I've used different papers as well. So that's a xoxo paper, antique lace as a tuck spot, and this is 1894, a little receipt with the stamp still on it. So I've used little clusters and pockets and more of that beautiful xoxo paper, a little tuck spot here. So this is a pink piece of a pink receipt, another receipt from I think 1877, so quite old documents. That's a little pocket there as well, and just sort of clusters. That's actually an antique quilt, really sweet antique quilt. I have put the ephemera I have put in here are there's 4 Wills cigarette trade cards, and there's also 4 Victorian calling cards. So there is some ephemera, but nothing handmade. And this is all just the back. I left that. That's another thing, a challenge for me. So the size, the color, the shabbiness. a joy to finish. I'll say that, if I'm honest, a joy to finish. The struggle was real during the making part. But I've used all different bits and pieces. Now I've included this little piece of vintage pattern paper for a top, I think it was, because Susie from Shabby Soul really inspired this size of journal and the grunginess for me. This is probably as grungy as I will get. And she uses this to cover journals and things like that. So that's a little homage to Susie. This is one of my pages from the Pink Pastel printable, and I've just shrunk it down. So everything's been shrunk down to journal size. There's some book page. I have clipped in the Victorian calling cards with the Tim Holtz clips, so I won't pull them out, but you can see that there. Some vintage book page. And these are all just bits and pieces that I had technically not lying around, but in my paper container. Avocado dyed pages. I really like using the pattern paper actually as a page in these little mini books. I'll do that again. And vellum and I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. This is quite stiff vellum, but I just like the difference in texture. And another little ruffle there. This is a tuck spot with another of those trade cards, and I've just pinned that bit of lace to the side there. This is a vintage label or antique label, and just, you know, sticking bits and pieces for some interest. I've tried to, so every second signature is not decorated, it's undecorated, and it's just pages, because I started off decorating everything and I thought there's no writing space, there's too much decorating. So half of the signatures are decorated like this, and the other half are reasonably blank. Reasonably blank. But you know, if you've seen some of my other journals, you know the struggle I have with blank pages. So that's another Victorian calling card. This is some beautiful old book page. Look at the edge of that and just the texture. And that's a French letter. So technically this is that was one of the blank signatures, and we go back into a decorated one now. Not overly decorated for me anyway. And yes, everything's hand stitched, so all the pockets. I love that big pocket with that beautiful bobbin lace. I was going to jam a tab on the top, but you know, you have to at some point you have to stop. These little minis are also a really beautiful way of showing off some of your smaller laces if you collect a lace like I do, because often in a bigger journal when you're layering things, you lose the detail, but with these little ones you can sort of use it as a showcase, I guess. There's some little tucks. No beads, no signature beads on strings for this one, because honestly she's quite she's quite flexible, and I just felt anything dangling out. I don't tend to put a lot of dangly bits on my smaller journals because I think it overwhelms the journal. This is also a little tuck here, and one of those little violets like on the back. And I just thought this, you know, these printables just went really well in this little one. Another calling card there, some more of that Locta paper. So there is space to journal, surprisingly quite a lot of space. And look, this is something, if you're not too keen on that, you can definitely tear that off, allowing some sort of edge so it stays in as the signature, or even take it out completely. And you can collage with this. So if you're not interested in these sort of pages because they don't make sense, then you can make a pocket on another page. So, you know, when you get a journal, you can definitely make it your own in that way. There's another trade card on a little pocket, some more of that beautiful paper. I'll link Heather's shop in the description. Oops, some layering there. These are little tuck spots. I thought that was kind of cute, mini tucks. Oh, some more of that beautiful rose lace. Oh, this is another one of my favorite pockets. I sort of cut it out as if it as a flower, and I just love those big pockets. And another one there. And if you have like a tag die cut, often they're small, or you get a small one. So that's sort of something that you could just cut a whole lot of little tags and pop them in the journal, write sort of little quotes on them. So you can even extend the page count, I guess. You can tip things in because there is some room. I'll show you when I close little Greta up again. There is a little bit of room for expansion, and there's a pocket in the back there with a little bit of bling. So avocado dyed. This was a white tablecloth, and I avocado dyed it, and I just love that the dye gets picked up in certain parts more than others. It's very subtle, but it still adds some dimension there, and you can see there's still space, so no alligator mouth. I think because the cover is like a wrap, it sort of wraps around. Yeah, quite tricky sewing signatures in to something soft, but you know, you get used to that sort of thing. But yes, so thank you for watching that flip. I do, you know, I like to do it for all the journals that I make because I put a lot of effort, a lot of love and effort into each one. And Greta, you know, I don't like to keep journals because I would have too many. But I know that Greta's going to a lovely home, and she will have sisters, but they won't be quite as big because you learn. Once you've done one, you learn, and you have hindsight. But yes, a joy to finish. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.